Hi, I'm Batie and I'm doing my oral presentation on the need for water in ancient societies. Water is one of the first things listed in the first level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This means that water is one of the first things a person needs to find in order to survive. Just as water is crucial to people's survival, it is also crucial to a society's ability to thrive. The need for a steady stream of water in ancient societies forced these societies to develop new technologies, create new laws to govern these technologies, and to work together in order for everyone to prosper. For a society to develop and last, it needs resources to sustain the people living there. One of these resources is water. According to the chapter, the need for water in ancient societies. As a society grows, the need for water increases. Due to a steady growing population in these ancient societies, they needed a steady, reliable flow of water into the cities. This need required them to develop new technologies. Source number 4 is a picture of a shaduf, which looks like a tool used for collecting water from streams and transporting them to other places. The shaduf requires a person to operate it, which could be a hindrance on the society since it would be taking a capable working body away from farming the land. It looks like this machine could work with moving and stationary water, which is a bonus. Another tool that was developed during this time was the sequoia, which is pictured in source number 5. This looks like a tool used for digging wells. This was beneficial for getting water out of the ground, which could be very beneficial to a society if there was a drought going on and the water in the ground was the only source of water. But it requires a person and an animal to operate it. It also had a lot of moving parts, so it was probably a hassle to operate and maintain. Another tool produced during this time was the square pallet chain pump, which is pictured in source number 6. This tool looks like it was used to move water uphill. This machine had a lot of moving parts and required 2 people to operate it, so again taking people away from farming the land, and was most likely a hassle to operate as well. Another tool used during this time is the noria, which looks like a wheel used to pump water. Many of these tools are still used today in some countries when it comes to collecting water. One of the machines that is still in use today is the noria. You'll see it in a lot of pictures, the wheel connected to the houses in the water. Some of the technologies developed during this time, the time of the first societies, were not just machines, but also the levees and drainage ditches that crisscrossed the ancient societies. These drainage ditches and levees can be seen in the aerial images of sources 1 and 2. Source 1 is an image of an aerial picture of the pre-Roman city in modern-day Italy. The light and dark marsh grass of is the ancient drainage system, and the white lines on top are the modern drainage system. When you look at this picture, you can see that the old system had more of a crisscross branching pattern that didn't really follow a set specific pattern, while the modern drainage system starts off from one pipe and branches off from this main source of water flow. This shows that spreading drainage systems are still used today. They are just more efficient today than they were in ancient times. Source number 2 is an image of major ancient levees identifiable in Landsat imagery. One can infer from this picture that these ancient cities had to work together based on how interconnected the levees were. I'll be covering more of this later in the presentation. All of these new waterways and the technologies that were necessary for the societies to thrive required new laws to be developed to govern them. Source number 8 includes sections from the Code of Hammurabi, referring to irrigation. This is a list of laws regarding who is responsible for property damage when it comes to dikes. These laws basically say that the owners of the dikes that get damaged, and as a result of this damage, due to either neglect or environmental happenings, and the damage from that first dike causes property damage to another person's property, is responsible for repairing both sets of property damage. This shows that this ancient society saw personal responsibility as extremely important. This list of laws also talks about the price someone must pay if they steal another's watering machine. These laws were created in 1750 BCE. The need for a steady stream of water in these ancient societies required the different societies to work together in order for everyone to prosper. As mentioned before, this can be seen in source number 2 of the Landsat imagery. Source number 2 not only shows the technologies that were used during this time, the levees, but it also shows how the need for water in these societies caused the different cities to have to work together in order for everyone to survive. In this image, you can see how interconnected the ancient levees were. Many of these ancient cities had to share one main water source, usually a river, in order for everyone to receive the water that they needed. Source number 9 also shows that these ancient societies had to work together, even when they didn't want to. This source talks about how the hand tried to trick the chin into building a canal, but the canal ends up benefiting everyone. The hand wanted the chin to build the canal so that they would be more focused on building things and expanding their works instead of expanding their empire into the area that the hand currently occupied. According to Chenko, the engineer of the canal would allow the hand to scrape by for a few more years because the chin would be wrapped up in building the canal, but the canal would bring water to the chin and allow them to thrive for generations. The need for water in ancient societies affected their technology, the ways of governing these technologies, and their ways of interacting with each other. Many years have passed since then, but our societies still require a steady stream of water. Some of the technologies developed in ancient times are still used today, such as the Noria mentioned earlier in the presentation. And the need for water still affects our society today like it did in the past. We still fight over who gets the water and we still try to govern it. Thank you, that's it.